All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. This is an introductory video for anyone who is, not investing in Bitcoin right now, who do not use Bitcoin for any sort of transaction at all. In fact, someone who do not have a Bitcoin wallet, right? This is a great video for you to watch. We're going to look at Bitcoin's origin. We're going to also go through some of the basics of Bitcoin, understanding Bitcoin, and also some investment potential when it comes to BTC or Bitcoin, as well as the just announced Bitcoin ETF. Then we close with using Bitcoin for day-to-day transactions. My name is Alfred. If you're new here, kindly subscribe to this channel and of course like this video. Let's get right into it. So on January 12, 2009, the first Bitcoin transaction took place where the person or persons who are arguably behind Bitcoin under the name Satoshi Nakamoto sent 10 BTC to this guy who they believe was cool because he was talking heavily about Bitcoin. Ideally, the creator or creators of Bitcoin designed it to be P2P. That's peer to peer, right? So there's no middle trusted party. There's no bank or financial institution in the middle of Bitcoin transactions. For example, if you want to move money from Ghana to Nigeria or Senegal or Cameroon or South Africa, which we are all within the same continent of Africa, is mind blowing, right? You can't easily do that. You have to go through a lot of procedures, and this money has to go through a lot of institutions before it arrives, and it's again, mind blowing, right? But with Bitcoin, it goes right from you to whoever you are sending it to. There's no middle bank, there's no institution, there's no government, nothing. There's no control. So it's decentralized. So in the early days of Bitcoin, the financial institutions and government agencies, banks, and all that, they had this sort of, resentment when it comes to Bitcoin because in their minds, this is not something that, function the way we look at money, right? It just goes right from this person to the next person. And then we will not be able to really regulate it and then make money from it. Because, of course, when money changes hands and goes to these financial institutions before it's credited, they sort of have these commissions and all of that. And they're able to control it. They give you their rates and all of that. But with Bitcoin, all of that is taken out of the equation, right? So they had that sort of resentment towards Bitcoin. But recently, the Security Exchange Commission announced Bitcoin ETF, which essentially will allow a lot of investors to go through their stockbroker to buy Bitcoin, right? They can invest in Bitcoin through their stockbrokers. But we're going to talk more about that later in this video. But for now, let's look at some of the investment potential when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, with Bitcoin, you can easily make money by buying and holding for a period of time. So if, let's say today it's being sold at $66,000 and you buy it and then you wait for some time, it gets to about, let's say, 68, 67, 70,000, $75,000, then you sell it. The difference is your profit. That is like the easiest way you can make money when it comes to Bitcoin, right? So you go through the spot and then you just buy and then you wait for some time and then you sell it at a higher price. That is the easiest way to make money from Bitcoin. But aside that, there's the futures trading, which is a bit more high risk because, if you don't have any experience when it comes to trading, then of course going there is a no-go for you because you were a beginner. So don't even try that in the beginning days, right? You have to stick to something that is low risk and simple to do, like buying and holding over a period. Aside that, you can also become a merchant. So in your community or wherever, you can announce to people that you sell or buy Bitcoin. So essentially, you give them your own rate. You tell them, you know what, I buy at this rate, I sell at this rate. And then you look at what rate is on the market in a way that you make profit. So when people come to you, they come and then they sell Bitcoin to you at your own rate, and then you go and sell that on the actual market. There are also a lot of different platforms like Binance, OKS, Bybit, which offers some sort of investment, options with Bitcoin on their platform. So you just, go through it and then they give you some options to invest and then they will give you some returns, maybe 11% APR, 12% APR, 15% APR, right? That's the annual rate they are giving you, right? But all of these, the profit margin is not all that huge and it's not all that crazy, right? Because a lot of people who are making noise about Bitcoin bought it earlier when it was way less in price. And then now it has grown in price, so they are making a lot of money. You are buying probably now, and then it's going to take a while before it goes crazy. It probably may not go that crazy again. So of course, it's not something you have to just go and take all your capital and invest your money in right now, because you may also go to the opposite side, right? Bitcoin is highly volatile. So if you're investing, you have to make sure that you know what you are doing, and it's a bit, low risk. Okay, now moving on to Bitcoin ETFs, right? Now, I mentioned this earlier. So recently, the Security Exchange Commission announced Bitcoin, ETF, which means that people can go through their stockbrokers and then buy Bitcoin ETFs, which means that you're buying this particular ETF, which has Bitcoin as its underlying asset. The same way you would probably buy a real estate ETF, which has real estate as its underlying asset. Now, the only downside is when you buy a Bitcoin ETF, you don't have access to actual Bitcoin, right? So you can't use that ETF to make a transaction. You can't buy something with that. You just have an investment, in that particular ETF. Lastly, we're going to look at using Bitcoin as a day-to-day currency, using it to purchase stuff, using it for transactions and stuff like that, right? Now, if you live in Africa and then you possibly work online, someone who, create YouTube content or design for people, create websites, build apps, whatever it is that you do, if you have people overseas that you work with, even in, within Africa, in other African countries, you realize that moving money is crazy, and also the exchange difference is always killing us, right? So if you have Bitcoin, it makes it easier, right? You just save some money in your Bitcoin wallet, and then you can easily move that money to someone anywhere in the world. Let's say, for example, you want to pay someone $1,000 in Turkey. You just look at the Bitcoin value, against $1,000 today, and then you move that money into Bitcoin. You ask for the person's Bitcoin wallet, and then you send the money right to the person. The person will just receive that money instantly. And when they receive that, they can also get that cash instantly, right? There's no bank. There's no exchange differences and all of that madness, right? Even when you want to send money from Ghana to Nigeria, recently I wanted to pay someone just $10 in Nigeria, and it's just hectic. Sometimes the exchange difference is crazy. Sometimes it's just trying to, stress you out. You have to go through this process, that process before the person receives the money. However, if I just ask the person to send me their Bitcoin wallet address and then they send it over, I can just send that money to the person instantly and they can receive the money. That means there's that peer-to-peer system where you can just send money to someone no matter where they are located, right? And that makes Bitcoin really, really, really easy to use. And also, you can just connect MasterCard or Visa card right to your Bitcoin wallet and then spend the money. So you don't even need to, move your money to a bank to be able to use it. You can just get a card and then move your Bitcoin right onto it and use it to transact. MasterCard makes it very, very, very easy. In fact, there is Eversend, so you can even move cryptocurrency from wherever your crypto is right onto your Eversend account, and then you can top up your Visa card on Eversend with that funds, and you can use that to buy stuff online, right? So if you have Bitcoin, you can practically use it for almost anything. There are some countries where now you can even use the Bitcoin card to withdraw money from ATMs, right? In Ghana or in Africa, I'm not too sure if this is in operation, but I know some parts of Dubai, some islands, these stuff are being done, and people can actually use that. So of course, Bitcoin is a currency on its own. With cryptocurrency or with Bitcoin, is easy for people to actually fraud you or steal money from you, right? So you have to be careful how you are moving your money around and what platforms you are using, how you are protecting it, and all of that. So of course, you have to be careful when it comes to that. But essentially, you can use cryptocurrency for almost anything, and it makes transactions way easier. As I said earlier, you can just pay someone anywhere in the world in less than a minute, right? They will just receive the money in their wallet, and there's no transactional charges when it comes to cross-border payments and all of that. If the platform you are using to send that crypto charges maybe, let's say, $1 to send it, or maybe 1% or 0.5, whoever, they just charge that, and then they just push the money to whoever you're sending it to. So it's easier to send money to someone on Bitcoin. It's pretty much way easier than any form of transfer available right now on the surface of the earth. Now, coming to the end of the video, I need to state that I'm not a financial advisor again. So if you're looking to invest your money and then you just watch this video, understand that you need to do more research, speak to a financial expert before you commit to anything. However, you can just take on this as something I'm sharing from my personal experience, and then you can build more on that. Thank you for watching this video up to this point. My name is Alfred, and of course, I'll see you in another video. I'm out.